Hi everybody, welcome to Plutus Project-Based Learning 2024. Thanks a lot for being here. In this video, we will check how to build a transaction that unlocks tokens from a validator script. This lesson is a hands-on lesson. You will do all the work. The main activities, all this lesson is based on the methodology that we have been used in the previous lessons, in the lessons of this module, in the lesson about how to build a Cardano CLI address, pre-prod address, the lesson about how to build a simple transaction using Cardano CLI, and the lesson about how to include native assets in a Cardano transaction. If you follow all these lessons, you are very familiar with this procedure, with this method. First, you have to turn on your Demeter instance. Second, you have to set up the variables. And third, and final step, you have to build, sign, and submit the transaction that you will build in this lesson. This is our recipe, the recipe for success. So, the general steps are, first, turn on Demeter. I have here my Demeter instance, and in my project, I have running my workspace and my Cardano node in pre-prod, both. And I have here my VS Code, workspace, and I have here my terminal. Yeah. Next step, setting up the variables. And to do that, you know how this is. First, you have here all the transaction build body, because as you know, the transaction is composed by three parts: transaction build, the transaction sign, and the transaction submit body. But for setting up the variables, we need mainly the transaction build part. But additionally, in this to build this transaction, this unlocking transaction, we need the transaction sign body as well. And you know how this is. First, you take this body and you identify, you spot all the variables that you need to build the transaction. This is your list. This is your list. And once you have your list, you start to assign the values to each one of those variables. You can follow, you have here the instructions to each one of those variables. For building this transaction, you need also a few files, a few JSON files. Here, some files. And if you follow these instructions, you can build those JSON files successfully. Here, just follow the instructions and you will be fine. Finally, check step number 1, check step number 2, and Now the final step, that is build, sign, and submit a transaction, the transaction. And, and that's it. Once, don't forget that when you have your variables, your block of variables ready, you just copy here and go to your terminal and paste your variables to activate the values of the variables, those variables. And here, talking about talking about the files, I have here my two JSON files. I built those files following these instructions. And once I have all that data in my VS Code, in my folder PPBL 2024 CLI wallet. I just go to inside that folder and go and copy and paste. The process is always the same, and enter. After that, sign, copy and paste, and after that, copy and paste the transaction submit body, and that's it. Just follow the instructions, and you'll be fine. And that will be a successful transaction. But one of the most important parts of this lesson is the invalid transactions, the ways in which this transaction can fail, because you, as Cardano developer, you need to know how a script, you need to know how this transaction can fail. And this transaction can fail if the transaction does not follow the rules of the rules the rules specified by the smart contract that is connected to this validate the smart contract, the validator that is connected to this transaction. So it's important to check these examples, and with your understanding at this point of all the understanding that you need, that you have in this moment on how to build transactions, I'm sure that you can process this information and and make some testing on these errors. In this section, the success is in testing these examples and get the errors. Different in a different reality from submit this transaction and get a successful transaction. Here, what we need is to get the errors, but no worries. Just try them, and if you have some problems in our live coding sessions, all Wednesdays, we can work on that. You can go to our Discord, the Gimbalabs Discord, and there you can share your results and ask for help, assistance, or share your successes and failures working on this in this lesson. But no worries, this is a learning process, and all is part of the show. So thanks a lot. I hope to see you really soon. Thank you.